The galaxy had many wonders, but few were as fragile and overlooked as Princess Lyra of Zyphora. She was born tiny, even by the standards of her small race, and she quickly learned that the world did not favor her kind. While other princesses of her planet towered over men, strong and commanding, Lyra struggled to keep up. Her delicate wings could barely lift her in the air, and her voice, soft and musical, was often drowned out by the booming tones of the males around her. Her parents, the king and queen of Zyphora, had loved her at first. They had hoped she would grow into a strong, admired figure like the queens before her. But as Lyra grew, the reality became impossible to ignore. Other alien males who measured worth by size and strength sneered at her. They mocked her tiny frame and her timid way of moving. Even her royal siblings avoided her. In a society that celebrated physical dominance, Lyra was a disappointment. The court of Zyphora could be cruel. On the day of the annual strength display, when young princesses were expected to demonstrate their power and command, Lyra had been humiliated. She had attempted to lift a ceremonial orb, one that symbolized authority, but it had barely budged in her hands. The crowd had gasped, some of the largest males laughing openly. The king had forced a tight smile, as though to reassure the audience that Lyra was still part of the royal family. But the queen's eyes had shown a flicker of sorrow and frustration. Lyra had felt every stare like fire against her skin. That day she had flown away into the gardens, hiding among the tall, alien flowers and wishing she could vanish from the galaxy entirely. Despite the rejection, Lyra had not lost hope completely. She still believed that perhaps somewhere in the galaxy, someone could see past her size and recognize the worth within her. It was a quiet hope, small but alive, like a candle flickering in a dark room. It was during one of her walks in the royal gardens that she first noticed the human. She had never seen a human before. He stood out immediately, taller than most Zephyrans, with fair skin and bright eyes that seemed to study everything with curiosity rather than judgment. He was clad in a sleek spacesuit that shimmered slightly under Zyphora's twin suns, and his movements were confident but not overbearing. Lyra watched him from behind a tall violet plant, her curiosity overcoming her shyness. He was speaking softly into a small device, apparently communicating with someone else, though she could not tell who. Unlike the alien males she knew, he did not look at her with pity, mockery, or superiority. His eyes scanned the gardens carefully, and for reasons she could not understand, she felt drawn to him. The next day, the human returned. Lyra had barely left her quarters when she noticed him again in the gardens. He was observing the rare Zephyran flowers with care, taking notes on a small tablet. This time he looked up directly at her. His expression was gentle, inviting. "Hello," he said in a soft voice using the universal translation device on his suit. "I'm Alex Mercer. I come from a planet called Earth." Lyra hesitated, unused to being spoken to without mockery. I am Lyra," she said, her voice barely audible. Alex smiled, and it was a smile that made her heart lift in a way she could not explain. "It's nice to meet you, Lyra. I've heard about you. That you're a princess." Lyra's wings twitched nervously. "Yes, but I am not like the others." Her words faltered as shame rushed back. They don't think I am worthy." Alex crouched slightly to be closer to her height, speaking as if she were the most important being in the galaxy. "Worth is not about size or strength. It's about courage, kindness, and intelligence. I can already tell you have all three, even if no one else sees it." Lyra stared, unsure if she should believe him. No one had ever said such words to her before. The humans she had heard of were supposed to be weaker, smaller, and laughable to Zyphorans. Yet this one seemed different. His confidence did not come from boasting or bullying, but from respect. For her, for the world around him, for life itself. Over the next few days, Lyra found herself seeking him out. She followed him through the palace gardens, hiding at first, then gradually daring to step into the open. Alex noticed her every time, always greeting her warmly, never making her feel small. He asked questions about her life, her dreams and the world beyond Zyphora, listening carefully to each answer. One evening, after a long day of courtly duties and private lessons that always reminded her of her inadequacies, Lyra approached Alex boldly. "Why do you treat me like I matter?" she asked, her voice trembling. Alex looked at her thoughtfully. "Because you do. It doesn't matter what your society thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone else says. You are intelligent, brave, and capable. That is what counts in my eyes, and I suspect it is what counts in the eyes of the universe too. Lyra's heart swelled with a mixture of relief and hope. She wanted to believe him, but centuries of rejection had left scars that would not heal so easily. But the others, they will never see me like this. They will always see me as weak. Then we show them differently, Alex said, a spark of determination in his eyes. You don't need to change who you are, Lyra. You just need to prove to the galaxy and yourself that being small does not mean being powerless. The tiny princess felt a flicker of excitement she had never known. With Alex by her side, perhaps she could finally do something that mattered. Not just for herself, but for others who might be overlooked or dismissed. Days passed, and Lyra's confidence began to grow. Alex showed her small exercises in strategy, problem-solving, and even piloting devices that were far too complex for most Xiferans. Though she struggled at first, she discovered that her mind was quick, her intuition sharp. Where others relied on brute force, she could see patterns, anticipate movements, and find clever solutions. One afternoon, as they watched Xifora's twin suns set over the mountains, Lyra spoke quietly. I have never felt like this before, like someone actually believes in me. Alex smiled. You don't have to feel like it, Lyra. You are it. You are capable. You just need to believe it yourself. Her heart lifted, and she realized that perhaps the rejection she had felt her whole life had only prepared her for this moment. The moment she could rise above expectations, not by copying others, but by embracing her unique strengths. That night, as Lyra returned to her private quarters, she felt a sense of determination that was new and intoxicating. She would no longer hide from the world. She would not let the alien male's judgments define her. With Alex's guidance, she would show the galaxy that courage, intelligence, and heart could be more powerful than any physical strength. But Xifora was not a forgiving place. Rumors of her secret companionship with the humans spread quickly through the palace. Some alien males grew jealous, some suspicious, and a few outright hostile. They could not understand why a human, a species so different from their own, would see value in Lyra when none of them could. One evening, as Lyra and Alex were studying a navigational map of the galaxy, the palace doors burst open. A group of young Xiferan nobles barged in, sneering. Princess Lyra, their leader said, voice dripping with mockery. Why do you waste your time with a human? He is weak, small, and irrelevant. Why do you lower yourself to such a creature? Lyra stood tall, though her wings trembled. Because he sees what you cannot. He sees the truth about me, and he values me for who I am, not for what I should be. The leader laughed scornfully. The galaxy will never respect a weak, tiny princess. No human can change that. Alex stepped forward, his eyes blazing with quiet authority. Respect is not given because someone is big or strong. It is earned through actions, decisions, and integrity. You will see soon enough if you have the courage to watch. Lyra felt a surge of pride. For the first time, she realized that strength was not measured by muscle or height. She had something stronger. A mind that could think beyond limits, a heart that could act with courage, and a human ally who believed in her when no one else did. That night, Lyra and Alex prepared for a journey that would take them beyond Xifora, beyond the galaxy she had always known. They would face dangers, unknown worlds, and tests that would challenge everything she thought she understood. Yet for the first time, she was not afraid. With Alex by her side, she could face whatever the universe had in store. And so the tiny princess, long rejected and underestimated, took her first step toward becoming someone the galaxy would never forget. Lyra had left Xifora behind, though the memory of rejection still lingered like a shadow over her thoughts. She now traveled through the galaxy with Alex, the human who had believed in her when no one else would. Each day brought new challenges and wonders, planets with skies of liquid crystal, creatures that moved like living clouds, and technology that defied the imagination. But beyond the beauty of the cosmos, there were dangers, and Lyra quickly discovered that the universe was not always kind to those who were small, delicate, or underestimated. Their first destination was the planet Rovara, a harsh world of jagged cliffs and violent storms. The locals, a species of giant armored beings, were suspicious of outsiders. Alex and Lyra had to navigate a maze of customs and rituals to gain their trust. While Alex spoke diplomatically, Lyra found her intelligence and quick thinking were essential. When a sudden storm threatened to trap them on the cliffs, It was Lyra who noticed the pattern of the winds, guiding Alex and a group of Roveran traders to safety. The traders looked at her with astonishment. "You are small," one of them said, "yet your mind is sharper than many of our largest warriors." Lyra smiled shyly. For the first time in her life, her size did not define her. Their next challenge came on a neutral space station, Calith Prime, where rogue factions of aliens frequently caused trouble. Alex and Lyra had come to meet with diplomats, but before negotiations could begin, an attack erupted. Pirates, swift, deadly, and relentless, boarded the station, taking hostages and threatening chaos. Most would have panicked, but Lyra remained calm. She observed patterns in the pirates' movements, noting how they relied on aggression rather than strategy. With Alex's technology and her quick analysis, she devised a plan to guide the station's defenders. Small robots were repositioned to create barriers, escape routes were marked for civilians, and diversions were set to trap the pirates. When the defense team executed her plan, the pirates were outmaneuvered, captured, and the hostages freed. The victory spread quickly, earning Lyra admiration from alien species far beyond Xiphora. Rumors of the tiny princess who outsmarted pirates traveled faster than any message could be delivered. Her name became known not for weakness but for intelligence and courage. Through all of this, Alex remained by her side, guiding and supporting her. Lyra often wondered why he cared so deeply about her success. She had been rejected by her own people, mocked by their strongest males, and still this human saw only her potential. It was a feeling she could not fully explain: gratitude, admiration, and a faint warmth of hope that perhaps someone could truly value her. The duo's journey took them next to Xiphora's neighboring systems, where her homeworld's emissaries had sent warnings about a mysterious threat, a massive space storm approaching Xiphora, capable of destroying entire cities. Lyra's heart ached at the thought of her people in danger, yet she feared returning too soon. She worried they would still see her as weak, unworthy, or worse, blame her for leaving. Alex gently persuaded her. "You are stronger than you think. They may not understand you now, but this is your chance to show them the truth. Your size does not matter. Your courage and mine do." Reluctantly, Lyra agreed. They traveled back to Xiphora, navigating the storm with precision and strategy. As they arrived, the chaos was visible from orbit. Violent winds, collapsing structures, and citizens struggling to survive. The alien males who had once mocked her were trapped in dangerous areas, unable to save themselves or others. Lyra did not hesitate. She coordinated rescue efforts using Alex's technology and her own clever tactics. She led evacuation teams, guided ships through the storm safely, and even intervened when a collapsing bridge threatened a group of civilians. Her actions were swift, decisive, and efficient, leaving no doubt about her capability. When the storm finally passed, Xiphora was battered but saved. Citizens, witnesses, and even the alien males could not ignore what they had seen. Lyra, tiny as she was, had saved countless lives through intelligence, bravery, and resourcefulness. The royal court summoned her. For the first time, the king and queen looked upon her not with sorrow or frustration, but with awe. The alien males who had scorned her approached hesitantly, unsure whether to bow, apologize, or stay silent. Lyra stood tall, no longer timid or unsure. "You have proven yourself," her father said quietly, "not through strength or size, but through courage and wisdom. You are a true princess of Xiphora." Some of the alien males struggled with pride, others with jealousy, but none could deny the truth. Lyra had surpassed them all without needing their approval. She had proven that strength of mind and heart could outweigh physical power. Even after the accolades, Lyra's thoughts returned to Alex. He had believed in her when no one else did, guiding her without pressure, respecting her choices, and seeing her for who she truly was. "You were right," Lyra said softly, standing beside him as the court acknowledged her deeds. "Being small doesn't mean being weak, and someone had to show me that." Alex smiled, a quiet, reassuring presence. "You already had it in you, Lyra. I just helped you see it." As the galaxy began to recognize her as a hero, Lyra realized something more profound. She no longer needed the approval of others to define her worth. She had proven to herself what mattered most: her courage, intelligence, and ability to act with compassion. That knowledge gave her a freedom she had never experienced. Months passed and Lyra continued traveling with Alex, exploring new worlds, learning about other civilizations, and facing challenges that tested both her mind and her heart. With each adventure, her reputation grew. Across the galaxy, stories circulated about the tiny alien princess who had been rejected by her own species, yet triumphed where others had failed. Her homeworld eventually came to view her differently. The alien males who had once mocked her now sought her counsel on matters of strategy and diplomacy. Even her royal siblings, previously indifferent, admired her bravery and wisdom. Zyphora had learned a lesson as much as Lyra had. True strength was not measured by size, appearance, or conformity to outdated standards. It was measured by action, intelligence, and character. Lyra herself had changed most of all. No longer timid or withdrawn, she moved with confidence and purpose. She embraced her unique abilities and recognized that being small was not a limitation, but a strength in disguise. She could navigate spaces others could not, see solutions others overlooked, and inspire hope where doubt had once reigned. And always, Alex remained by her side. Their friendship deepened into an unspoken trust, a bond forged through challenges, triumphs, and mutual respect. Lyra knew that no matter what the galaxy threw at her, she would not face it alone. The human had proven that kindness, intelligence, and courage could come in forms the galaxy might never expect. One evening, as they watched the stars shimmer across the void of space, Lyra spoke quietly. "I never thought I would matter. Not to anyone." Alex looked at her, his eyes reflecting the distant stars. "You matter, Lyra, you always have. And now the galaxy knows it too." For the first time, Lyra allowed herself to believe it fully. The tiny princess, once rejected and overlooked, had become a symbol of hope, courage, and intelligence. She had shown that even the smallest among them could shine brightest. As the twin suns of Zyphora set in the distance, Lyra knew her journey was only beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders, challenges, and mysteries yet to be discovered, and she, with Alex by her side, was ready to face them all, not as a rejected princess, but as a hero of the stars. Her story, once one of rejection and doubt, had transformed into a story of triumph, hope, and recognition, and in the quiet moments when the galaxy was still, Lyra smiled, knowing that she had finally found her place, among the stars, and in the heart of a human who had seen her true worth when no one else could.